the bonus episode of Dreamer Podcast today with the number 13th ranked heavyweight. I'm sorry, lightweight. I almost said heavyweight. My bad. Lightweight in the world, Renato Money Moicano. Thank you for joining.
What's up, my brother? Thank you so much.
Yes, I saw the report. You're officially fighting at UFC 300. It's
Yeah, that's true. UFC 300. We are a month, right? Less than 30 days. And I have been training a lot, brother. I'm tired. I have been putting the work in. It's going to be a great night for me, I think.
yeah. You didn't fight that long ago against Drew Dober, so it was a pretty quick turnaround, right?
Yeah, pretty quick turnaround. I was asking to fight. I was asking all the time UFC to get me in a fight, and they called me last Saturday. I was in UFC 299, and they asked me, "Do you want to fight UFC 300?" We're gonna announce today UFC 299. I say, "Of course, let's go." Jalen Turner, tough opponent, but uh, yeah, that's a big chance, and I like my odds against Jalen Turner, especially in UFC 300. So everything's good.
I heard you before your fight. I think it was on Ariel Helwani's show, and I was wildly impressed just with everything you were saying, your thoughts on the world, and then the post-fight speech, which I would love to show my audience. I already know they would absolutely love it. I put it on Twitter because on Twitter or X they don't really censor you that much. So as soon as I watched it, I filmed it and put it out there. I said Renato Money Moicano talking about his father popping a new baby out, talking about getting the bad guys. So can you kind of explain, since we can't show it, like what the inspiration was there and kind of what you said after you won the fight at the last one?
Yeah, brother, to be really honest with you, I don't even remember what I say. I didn't watch the thing after, I post on my channel, like my editor. There is a guy that helped me uh with the YouTube, and he does that stuff and he posts, and I didn't even watch, but YouTube removed and gave me a strike because the copyrights. But I swear to God, I don't remember what I say, like line by line. I know what I say, of course, but I don't remember exactly what I say. But like I always like to say, uh, people are going too crazy right now with politics and with people are so divided. And I think one thing is for sure: the only thing that stop us to be in a bad place is like police, laws, enforcement, religion, all that kind of stuff, like the backbone of society, like, right? And I don't know why I say what I say, to be really honest with you. Just I was just feeling, and it turns around. A lot of people feel the same.
Yeah, so I'll ask you about that because it was super inspiring to me and it felt really raw, off the cuff and real. Like, do you feel like in society, and I'd love to hear how it is Brazil versus America, if it's similar or different, but here you talked about how family is important. You talked about how, there are bad people out there, and after UFC you'd like to be a SWAT team and go after bad guys, and how, people are disrespecting the police and a lot of crimes are happening, especially here. Everybody's getting robbed in America now. Theft is very common. Do you feel like they're trying to take like God, family, religion out of the country, and that's the problem?
Of course, I think people don't realize that. But if you read history and if you understand history, America was found on religion, like you or not, was founded on the Protestant, right, reform. People were leaving Europe because they were feel oppressed by the king, and they tried to do their own business. And another thing that people don't realize, that classic liberalism, like people like Adam Smith and these people like that come up with these ideas, they were against that. That's why I like the American Constitution, because it's free speech and freedom of religion. Then you have the right to defend yourself, and then you have private property. So everything that the king was oppressing people, they say, okay, let's start America, but America is going to be for the people, not for the establishment, for the government. And so the whole concept of America is decentralized, right? Give more power to the people, not have like if you read the cons- the federalist papers, they were aware of that, because power tends to concentrate and tends to turn something bigger. And now I see the federal the federal government like that, and since the beginning they were worried about that, giving too much power to the institution so they can rule over the states. So my main difference between Brazil and America, and people don't realize that, and people feel that America is fucked up right now, crimes and that stuff. But let me tell you something, my brother. If you don't have a criminal record and you kill somebody in Brazil, you don't go to the jail. You don't go to the jail. You get away. Brazil is fucking nuts. It's crazy. I tell these people all the time, like if you commit a crime and you are like less than 18, like if you are a minor, you don't go to the fucking jail. So Brazil is madness. People commit crimes because they know they can get away. And I know the economics is a big part of that, because if you have people that struggling economic, they will be poor and they will do bad stuff. But you have to control these people. You have to make law enforcement being respected. And I still think I'm in Florida, and from what I see, people respect a lot police officers and law enforcement. Is totally different. But one thing that I think is the backbone of the society is the family, because through the family you teach your son, your daughter, your kids to respect and to collaborate. I think that is the biggest thing in a society. You have to trust each other. So if we start to distrust each other, and that's why we got bigger and bigger societies, right? Because we start to collaborate, we start to work, and that start with religion. One time I read that book, Sapiens is a very good book, and he teaches how we were like tribes, and then we got bigger because we start to trust each other, because we have a common goal, and this common goal was religion since the beginning, and I think because all that stuff on the like especially the philosophers like Nietzsche and people that declare that there is God and the religion is like opium for the people. People start to think, oh, religion is bad, but religion could be bad because it is an institution, like I say. But it's very important to get people to be together, and that's the most important thing. Because if you think everybody is your enemy, the society is going to collapse. And I think Brazil is one step to collapse, to be really honest with you. So uh, I start to read and to care about that once I moved to America, because like I say, I start to realize how America was found, what was the principles, and in the end of the day, I think the big difference between America and Brazil is America is more individualist, and that's good. And in Brasilia, they think about social. Like to resume, all that I want to say is like welfare. Brazilian, they think welfare is good, and now people think welfare is good in America, but it's bad. Welfare, I think, is the problem of all societies.
And what you're saying too is like you get your group from your family when it's real, right? When you have a common God, common family. But then if you rely on the government as your family, they're not really your family. So instead of you taking care of your family, you're dependent on a government that doesn't believe in God. That was a brilliant, everything you said was brilliant. I heard you talk one time about income tax, and I just want to let you go off on that because I agreed with everything you said. So I want you to just, what do you think about just like how they're taxing us?
I think they taxing us too much, because, like I say, if you see like Thomas Sowell or Milton Friedman, all these guys, they are talking about that long before the government. They don't do good decisions with your money, but like me, when I was a kid, I thought the government like was special people, was intelligent people, were people that deserve to be there. But in the end of the day, it's just a popularity contest, and they are elected to be represented in a class, right? So if you have a lot of fighters, you're gonna ask for the fighters to vote for you, and you're gonna represent fighters, and you have all kind of groups that gonna represent you. But what I'm saying is they are not the best decision makers, because if you see politicians, they don't do good in life. People that do good in life, they are entrepreneurs. They make money, they create business, they create jobs. Politicians not, they are bureaucrats, right? And I was reading the other day, Mises, right? The six lessons of Mises, and he say the problem with socialism is you cannot calculate the value of the goods and service, and that's the whole problem with government, because they don't know where to put the money. So they take your money and they say, okay, I'm gonna put this money on, but this create a lot of problems, because I believe in a free market society. I believe in free market enterprise. I believe the power of the individual to create and to change their destiny. And once you start to realize on the government, you're going to be a slave for the government. So I want to keep government on that place. Government, I'm sorry for my English, but it should only be caring about justice, right? Justice and law enforcement. And I think nowadays that's why people are paying too much taxes, because like people are saying, they are sending money to Ukraine, they are sending money to Israel. It's so many stuff, and they are printing so much money. So if you keep your money on your bank, you're losing. If you're doing good on your life, you're losing, because one thing is for sure, politicians, they don't care about nobody. They, they just care about getting elected again and again. And in the end of the day, I hate taxes, and everybody hate taxes. And if you see, oh, I like taxes, uh, you don't like taxes. You just want to pretend that you are a good person. But to me, it's not that I don't want to help poor people, but I think like institutions like church or even yourself giving your money to cause is better than the government choosing who they're going to subsidize, right? Subsidize. Because in the end of the day, that's the problem with the big capital right now, the people that own money, because it's like a strong tie between government and big corporations like big data and like Facebook and all that stuff. In the end of the day, people are not trying to be better at what they're doing. People are trying to be better at lobbying the government. So I am strongly against the government. I think the government should we should put government on the place. Justice, criminal justice system, and law enforcement, and let people trade, and let the free market society decide where they put the money. That's my whole point.
Your English is great, man. It's incredible, and so is your mindset. So, I mean, every time I hear you talk, I'm like, man, he gets it. So that's why I had to have you on the show.
Nice,
Uh,
Morgan.
with Brazil and America, obviously, you're saying America's still better than Brazil, and I think that most of America is good, and I'm grateful to live here. We've noticed in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and a lot of these big cities that crime is becoming way more common, theft is becoming more common. I guess my question for you is, why is Brazil worse, you think, in that category? Like, what are they doing wrong that we're doing right? And do you see a lot of the same mistakes being made here that you believe Brazil made?
100%, because look, the first constitution of USA, why, was on the Declaration of Independence, right after that, couple years after. So the constitution of USA, maybe 200 years, right? And people still follow the same constitution, and you have people that still love the constitution. In Brazil, the constitution is 1988, so it's almost my age. And the problem is the most social democrat constitution of all times, because you have to realize 1988, Soviet Union was still around, right? We still had socialists, and a lot of, and especially in Brazil, because Brazil had a military dictatorship on the 60s, and after that they kill all the politics and the political parties, so the left took over Brazil. So still today, most of people that you talk in Brazil, they are leftists. They are like communists. They are people that strongly believe. Because to me, if you say you are right or you've left, I'm thinking more you support government and you think the government should control everything, or you think private like a citizen, like entrepreneurship is better. And in Brazil, people just love government. They just love control. They just think the government does the best decision for their lives. And because of that, because this is so deep on our culture, that people don't even realize they are politicians are maneuvering them, if you know what I mean. So it's totally different. Like I say, the constitution of Brazil, they say you they say you are on the constitution, they say you have the right to own your home, right? So that's why we have a lot of programs that the government gives homes to the people. But that doesn't that's a if you understand a little bit of economy, that the math doesn't make sense, because to me this world is like a jungle. As bad as it looks like, you have to survive. You're not granted anything, my brother. You have to go to the life and try to make the difference and try to make your life better. You cannot get money from the government, because in the end of the day, the money of the government is the money that you pay in taxes, that you pay in subsidizing, so I think that's the main difference. I still talk to people in America, and people still believe on these principles of America, at least the people that I'm close to. So I'm pretty sure in California, San Francisco, all these places, you have people with other agendas. But the beautiful thing about America is decentralizations and powers to the states. So Florida is different, Texas is different, California is different. In Brazil is the same. It's like a continent country, and the same laws of the north is the same laws of the south, because they believe all the power should be dictated by the capital, Brasilia. And that's very bad. And I'm from Brasilia. I was there last week, last 2 weeks, and I saw it's crazy. These guys, these politicians, they think they are better than the population. They think they have they are better decision makers than their own people. And I don't believe that. I believe everybody knows what's better for themselves. So if you have the right to choose, that's the right to live.
Super chat from Mail Shark. He said, "This dude's on fire. Fuck socialism." So people are loving the chat. I
Yeah.
guess I heard in the post-fight speech that I think you said you have a visa now, and when you become a citizen, that you were after fighting that you'd consider being a SWAT team member to kill the bad guys. Um, I want to hear about that, but also, what do you think about, as somebody that's fighting, working here, and getting your citizenship, the border? Like, why do you think the border is wide open in America? And yeah, what do you think about all that?
Man, it's very hard to me to say. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure, and I didn't go deep on this. So it is easy to me to say that maybe Democrats, they want more people to vote for them, but I'm not sure if they can vote. But it's tough to say. 12 million people, right, went to the south border on this administration, and I don't like that. I don't like that too. And people ask me why you don't like. You're not for this country, right? But man, I pay a lot of money to get my green card, to get my process, and I like I always say, I support the law. I think the laws is what prevent us from the chaos. So if you want to be an immigrant, try to do the right way. Try to adapt the culture, because we see stuff like in Europe right now. Europe is fucked. It's fucked because they allowed so many immigrants to come up, and they don't have religion anymore. So in 10 years, all Europe is going to be Islamic, and more people born Islamic in Europe now than people from originally from Europe. And I'm not saying that's bad, or it's not bad. I don't care. This is their problem to deal. But now that I live in America and I have family here, I want this country to keep with the same principle that was found on. If you want to come here and to be a law-abiding citizen, I support that, even if you're not an American. But we have rules. You have to follow the rules. You have to apply for a visa. You have to apply for the citizenship. And I think that's the way we should keep doing, right?
Absolutely, man, you're on fire. after fighting, like, I mean, I want to talk about fighting in a second, but I really wanted to hear your thoughts about all this because I think you're a top level thinker. And outside of even your sport, like, I think you could be whatever you want to do after fighting, from announcing to analysis. Like, I really respect what you're saying. I think you're incredible. Would you really consider joining like SWAT team or police after fighting?
Yeah, 100%. I want that. And that's the problem too with Brazil, because I remember since I was a kid, I wanted to be a police officer. I want to be in the military. But again, Brazil is a socialist country. So I remember even my father, and my father is extremely leftist. You know, he is from the left side in Brazil, and I respect that. I have conversations with him. He is of other generation, you know, but I don't agree with anything he say politically. But he always say to me, "Ah, don't be a cop. If you are a police officer, you're going to be a fascist." All that bullshit, you know. So if you are a police officer in Brazil, is worse, even worse than in America. And that's why it's tough, because if you are it's like in politicians, with politicians, if you want to make a difference, you want to go over there and try to make a difference. And like I say, I want to give it back to America, not only because the things that I have, but because my mindset, my mentality, my family. I just to live with, just to live and to be a part of American Top Team and talk with other people about politics and learn. I want to give back. And one thing is for sure, we have to talk all the time, like what make America great is the principles. And one thing that makes these principles is law enforcement. And I know a lot of people talk shit about police officers, but you have to respect that they keep the law. And I wish, like, after I'm fighting, but listen, first I want to have money, because I don't want a job because of money. I'm doing this now. After that, I just want to give it back, right? Maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years, not much, but I want to give it back to America for sure.
How was announcing? I saw you announce, and actually, I'm going to play the clip in a second. But you referenced my podcast with Benil Dariush, where you had mentioned that, like, in the how was that doing the announcing? Because like it looked like you did a good job.
Yeah, I was doing commentary for Cage Fury Fight Championship, and I was having a great time. And somebody told me the clip, and you asking him a question about me, and I was in live TV, national TV, and I say, hey, I'm gonna take advantage of that. You know, our careers, like, the time goes so fast. So I say, hey, I'm gonna take advantage of that. I'm gonna talk some shit, and I got some people watching, so maybe I can fight him. And again, I respect Benil Dariush a lot. I have been watching him since I was before UFC. But it's the business. The bigger fight you get is better. So thank you so much for mentioning my name and to make this happen. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Can I play the clip real quick? And I want to get your response. I know you're fighting Jalen. I want to talk about that, but I want to play the clip and just see your response because, yeah, Benil's super nice guy, and I think he respects you. But obviously, he's confident as well, and I'm sure you are. So here it is,
Yeah.
and then we'll get the immediate reaction. It's a good fight. What do you look at Moicano? Because he called you out. Like, when you look at that win, were you impressed by it? Because you didn't talk about him that much, and then also just skill to skill. Where do you see him against you when he says something?
So I look at him as a complete fighter. He can grapple, he can strike, and he doesn't really have holes in his games. The difference, I think, between us is in everything he does, I think I'm a little bit better. Like I have better striking, better wrestling, and jiu-jitsu as well. So if we fight, if let's say we have a 3 round fight, you should see me pull away from him through the fight. Like from the first minute to the 15th minute, the gap should look bigger and bigger. That's what I think should happen, but it doesn't go always go as you.
What do you think?
I think he show a lot of respect, and I respect him either. But Benil Dariush is not my priority right now. My priority is Jalen Turner. So everything that he say, I can respond that after the fight, because now I'm just focused on Jalen Turner. But again, I respect him, but I feel I am better than he. Uh, Especially on striking, I think he has more knockout power than me. Maybe he's more stronger, but I feel with the training that I have been put in America Top Team, especially with the wrestling, I would beat him for sure. And maybe I will have the opportunity to prove. Let's see, UFC makes the fight too.
Jalen's a friend of the show too. He's been on because he lives out in the same county as me. With that fight, obviously 300 is a huge opportunity, and I watch your channel as well. Like with your reviews, you were kind of like saying, it's not as good because the problem as a fan, as you know as well, is that they just said so much early. Like the first car is going to be the craziest, so you're like, it's not that great, and then you get on the card to make it better. So how is that from not just a fighter but a content creator talking shit about it not being cool enough or good enough?
I couldn't believe because I have been trashing UFC 300 for more than 2 months, my brother, and I couldn't believe when I saw Sean Shelby on UFC 299. Hey, Moicano, huh? He just let me know that he knows that he's watching the videos, and the only thing that I want to say is you have been on the internet for a long time, you know how it works, right? It's very hard to pull the views, it's very hard to get the attention, and sometimes even if you have a better way to say it, you have to go little loud, a little bit, just so people can understand you. But my opinion is, I think UFC 299 was better than 300 will be. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe Moicano joined the UFC 300 to get even better. But being completely honest with you, now I am just focused on the fight. I have a tough opponent in front of me, but I will be ready. I have been training a lot. This week was very intense. I have been doing everything that I need to beat Jalen Turner, and I will beat him, and I will be on the top of the division because I'm dedicating myself. I'm planning. I'm doing everything that I was supposed to do, and I'm in the right place with the right mindset. So I may God help me, and we're gonna get to the top in the UFC.
Did you obviously like you had some damage like from the last fight, but like injury wise, was it all good to go after? Like everything healed up?
Everything held up. I had couple injuries even before the fight with Dober, and so I fought that fight with my shoulder was a little bit hurt, but after the fight I did a lot of physiotherapy, and now I'm good to go. I'm 100%, and I think it's going to be a good fight for the fans. I am mad that I am on the early prelims, brother. The level of disrespect, you know. But in the end of the day, it's a great card, and I hope I hope people watch my fight, and I hope they give me the mic after my fight, because I will take every opportunity to say what I think, and project myself to the top of the UFC.
Yeah, all of my followers, make sure you support and watch Renato Money Moicano anytime he's fighting. Show him some love and support. What do you think of Jalen as a fighter and a person? He was on the show. He was super nice, super cool.
I don't know him as a person, and as a fighter he's a good fighter, but he has holes on his game, and I'm going to take advantage of that. But like Benil Dariush say, it's a fight. I'm going over there to beat his ass, my brother. I'm going over there to dominate him. I'm going over there to finish him, and he's the same. So like in a fight, doesn't matter what you say, right? Doesn't matter what you do, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going over there to beat the shit out of Jarlington.
Do you look at odds like if you're the favorite or the underdog? Like, do you look at it or do you try to ignore that? My guess is you look at it, right?
No, usually I look at it. Let me see the odds. I don't think they have yet, right?
I haven't looked because as a fan of the sport, I'm not sure. Like, I don't even know which way it would go. I could see the odds makers going either way on you guys. It's gonna be as
Official odds. Let me
a
see.
viewer, it's a good fight, man.
No, this
I'm
is
excited.
the verdict. Jalen Turner versus not fight odds.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, Jalen Turner
Nice.
minus 225, Moicano plus 185. If I were you, I would take advantage of these odds, my brother, because one thing is for sure. Moicano is beating Jalen Turner. And I watch the odds, but the odds doesn't matter, right? The odds doesn't matter because what matters is what you're going to do on the fight day, and I will beat him on the fight day.
What's your like mindset and emotion through camp and going through a fight? Like I know I watched The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. It was a documentary, and he would like he liked to be disrespected because he used the disrespect as motivation. And sometimes he'd make it up in his head just to do better. Do you do that, or do you just not care? You're in your own zone. Like I'm a, I
No,
got
I used to use that and take advantage of that. Now I simply don't care. Because to be really honest with you, I don't care much about people. I don't care much about what people think, because one thing is for sure: if you win, they're gonna love you. If you lose, they're gonna hate you. So doesn't really matter. I like the fans, but I know the game. In the game, and the game is tough. You know, when you're winning, you the man. When you're losing, look, Dariush 2 fights ago, everybody was saying he's the man, he's the best, he's going to get the. I thought he would beat Charles. I thought he would beat Charles. And turns out that he lost 2 in a row, and now people are dismissing him. So I don't care much about what people thinks, so that's why I put all my faith and my energy and my mind on God, and I say, may God bless me, and seja feita a sua vontade, em português. What God wants is going to happen. So I put all my faith and my energy on God and do what I have to do. So I don't really care about what people think.
You said you had a few like little injuries before the fight, and I feel like that's pretty common just based on like all the work you guys have to do. In the last fight with Poirier and Saint Denis, he said he was on antibiotics because of staph or whatever, and then like there's always people who like say something. What did you think of that fight, and do you think that played a role, or do you just think it was going to be what it was?
Man, 2 weeks before the fight with Drew Doba, I was taking antibiotics too. I had the staph infection on my arm, and I'm pretty sure that's not the best, the best way to get through the fight week, taking antibiotics. But at the same time, Poirier got him with a beautiful hook, so that there's nothing to do with his gas tank, or is his style. I think Benoit Saint-Denis is good. I think he relies too much on his power. His striking technique, I think, is not the best, but he's tough, he's durable. And I don't know, if you accept the fight and you lose, just say you lose, brother. It doesn't matter the reason, doesn't matter if it's antibiotics, if it's that. If you accept the fight, if you fought, you lose, and go to the next one.
Your weight class, it feels like it's one of the most crowded ones at the top. There's probably 4 people there who could fight for the title. Of course, I'm sure you're going to focus on just this fight ahead, but what do you think about all that? Because there's just so many people that could get a chance, but it doesn't seem like since Charles dropped out of the last fight and he fought Volk, it just seems like there's 3, 4 people just waiting there.
Yeah, let me just check something, because I think uh, just I want to know if I can. Mm, no, I cannot say that yet, so I'm not gonna say that. But the UFC, the UFC is like that. You see people fighting for the title, and I don't know. We just saw Marlon Vera fighting for the title, and he was at the time like number 10. So everything can happen in UFC. We saw Benoit Saint-Denis fighting Dustin Poirier, Benoit number 12 and Poirier number 4 or 5 or something like that. And after that, if he had beaten Poirier, probably he would fight for the belt. So UFC, everything can happen, man. It's just a matter of like make your brand bigger, make more people know you, and like, so people want to buy pay-per-views. It's a business, brother. It's a business model. They want eyeballs, they want people that can sell pay-per-views, and you do that through personality, through charisma, through fighting skills. So everybody's different. So like I say, back in the day, I used to think about a lot about stuff. Now I just focus on myself. I focus on what I have to do. If I don't control, I don't think about it.
With 300, since the prelims are so stacked, everything is so stacked, are they gonna do media day for everybody and, like, let you talk? Because I feel like it would be a crime not to give Moicano the microphone, you know? Because
I was thinking that, brother. I am the fucking early prelims. They not gonna call me for the press conference. That's going to be huge. I want to be on the press conference, but up to the UFC. You know, UFC is the biggest sports combat sport organization in the world, and they know better what the public wants to see. And but I'm pretty sure the public wants to see Moicano talk some shit. So I hope they do the media day. I don't know how they're going to do, but it's going to be a historical event, and I want to be part of all of that.
I think you're a star, and out of everybody, like I'm always tapped in. Like if you're on a radio show or especially like a pre-fight, like no offense, but a lot of people are just boring. And like I think you always bring it. You always have something to say. And me as somebody that I do a news analysis show, but also I do hip hop music as well. When I heard you talking about income tax, saying it was a scam, I was like, this guy gets it. You're quoting Friedman and Mises and stuff. So I was like,
Yeah.
I got to talk to this guy because I was like, not only is he funny and entertaining, but he's dropping real knowledge, like very intelligent thought processes on Helwani's show. I was pumped.
Yeah, because man, most of the people, let's be honest, I don't know. There is a lot of stuff that I don't know how to say English because when I'm studying politics, when I'm studying history, I do in Portuguese because it's easy for me. So there is a lot of words in Portuguese that I have to do on English too. But my problem with that is most people complain about money, complaining about what uh, in the position they are now in life. But the truth is, most of people are lazy. They want, and the fight is too. They want to go to the training and get back and watch some YouTube. And let me tell you something: internet is just a beautiful tool for knowledge. You can learn. Man, in the other day, I was having economic class on the MIT, like a fucking hot bar was talking about economics, one of the best economists of all time, teaching economics for free on YouTube, and doesn't have many views. So the knowledge is over there. You can learn for Nobel winners. You can learn everything in the net. You can learn even how to make a bomb, how to make a car. You can learn everything. But people just want to go to the regular shows and watch some fucking thing to laugh. People don't want to read. People don't want to, everything's there. We are in a age of information, technology. And if you have curiosity and if you want to learn, now is the best time to do it. And I am always trying to do that.
Yeah, you do a good job on the channel, and I could tell like when you called out MMA Guru and called him like a pig or whatever, that was hilarious. And with your videos, like when you do predictions and stuff, you do it like the other creators. Like it's not some fighters do it good, but a lot of them it's just rushed. It's like a quick like here, let me just do it for views. But you're going through like all the fights like everyone else is. Just really like I could tell you're tapped in and hungry to obviously not just fight, but do YouTube great. Like I think it's working out.
Man, like I say, I love everything about decentralization and YouTube take power of how do you say like the big channels, and because the other day I was watching YouTube and something show up, something that I didn't expect, right? Some guy fishing or something like that. Imagine in a big channel somebody saying and like hundreds of thousands of views the video. It's a homemade video, a guy fishing or a guy, I don't know, throwing a ball. Imagine you going to CNN or Fox and say, hey, let's put that on R because that's going to be huge. People say, hey, you stupid, you dumb. Nobody wants to see that. So that intelligence is good because nobody has the control. Like I can do a video, you can do a video, everybody can do a video. It's the free market, right? So let's see who is the better in making videos. So that's why I'm trying to do my best when I do my prediction. Everything that I do, I try to put some love and some effort. And if doesn't do good, that's okay. At least I try my best.
Yeah, I could tell that you're inspired and working hard at it. So, any last words from Renato Money Moicano for the people where they could find you? How to tune in it to UFC 300 and how to just support you in general, because I think everybody really appreciated your take on the world.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for having me on. And if you want to support, I have I sell some merch, moneymoicano.com. So go over there and buy, especially the hats. Nobody's buying the hats. The t-shirts, they almost done, but the hats nobody wants. So go over there and do some charity work, my brother. Okay. And I have the YouTube channel. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for the the opportunity to talk on your channel and to talk to some new fans. So UFC 300 is going to be a show, and Moicano wants money. Moicano wants a win. UFC 300. Let's go.
Appreciate you for being on. You're always welcome, and good luck and God bless. I'll talk to you maybe after, but until then, just keep crushing.
Thank you so much. Have a great show, my friend. See you.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hey, what's going on, my friends? Just a few ways to stay in touch and support if you'd like to. The first way is dreamrare.com. We have blue beanies, black beanies, pink hats, other colored hats, freedom versus tyranny shirts, stay blessed long sleeve, God is great long sleeve, and lots of more cool items coming soon. Dreamrare.com. Check out the shop.